Hi, thank you for watching and a video blog. Today from Riga, Latvia. So if you have a little bit of understanding of history and if you took the time to investigate a little bit of your own history, looking up old photos, family pictures, you might have noticed that your grandmother, because now today I'm talking to the ladies, I will also make a video blog for the guys, don't worry, but your grandmother dressed totally different than yourself now. And your great-grandmother will dress even more differently. Now I can assure you that if you are my age, like in the 30 and 40 range, your grandmother dressed very decently. We're dressing in a dress, a skirt. They wouldn't dress in jeans, they wouldn't dress in trousers anyways. Your grandmother looked different because in those days it was still a traditional time. A normal time, I must say, more natural time, where your role in the family was much more important than the way you look. And this is what's happening now. The role in the family for ladies, for women, has diminished. And it is replaced by the way you appear, your looks, how you come across towards strangers. And that is the problem, and that is what you can see. When you watch these old photos, you can see that ladies in these days were dressed for household, or they were dressed for going outside and showing a modest, a respectful representation of themselves. They would send out a message that they were, first of all, they were married, but also that they were just conservative. And conservative was the norm. You will be odd to dress like how the ladies dress nowadays. Jeans, or these yoga pants, or with piercings, tattoos, all these things, bleached hair, lots of makeup. Your grandmother didn't dress like that, because she showed the world that I am a mother, I'm part of a family, and when you go more back in your history, you will see that they would dress as part of a tribe. They wouldn't be dressing like an individual, they would be dressing like part of a tribe. And there are still women in the Netherlands, for example, that are dressing like this. You can see that first of all they were dressed as a lady. They would signal I am a lady. Because sometimes when you are dressed up, it's not always visible to see if somebody is male or female. So that is why men would wear trousers and women would dress skirts. Just easier to see, just to see if you have to do with a male or a female. That's it. But you could see that the way your grandmother and your great-grandmother, and when you go back it will be even more clear, that they will dress as part of a family. And a tribe is an extended family. Means your parents and their brothers and sisters and your great-parents and your grandparents. That was the way that everybody would show themselves. And this whole liberation, this whole feminism, what started in the 60s, they would rip the women away from her family. And in many different ways. She was forced to work and etc. to study, but also to dress, not anymore as a part of the family, but as an individual. She would show that I am not somebody that's a housewife, because she will dress in jeans or like men's clothing, and that signals that she is not a housewife, that she's not there for the family. It shows also that she really don't want to define her sex, so that she is female. That is what you see when you see the old pictures. You can see, oh yeah, that's my grandmother, and she would be dressed as a woman. Nowadays, when you see ladies, you can, sometimes from behind, you cannot even see if it's female or male, just dressed the same. And what also happened in the 60s was that they would sexualize their appearance. Before the 60s, the sexuality was only reserved for the husband and also behind closed doors at home. You never ever could imagine in the 60s, or before the 60s I must say, that anybody would dress up in an indecent manner, in a promiscuous way, with revealing a lot of herself in shape or in showing your skin a lot. That would never happen, because that was reserved for the family, for your husband, not the family, but for your husband at home. It's nothing for the rest of the world. It's just not for that, for multiple reasons. And you can ask traditional Muslim women more about this. They will explain this, they will still believe the same, they will still dress the same. Nothing different than how your grandmother used to dress in the 50s. So now this almost seems like, oh, but it's just modern times, just modernity, you cannot be old-fashioned, we are different now, we see it different. But it's not the case, it doesn't work like that. Nature will never change, it's always the same. So if you disobey or change the rules of nature, you get a broken system. It will lead to brokenness. And again, your grandmother would never ever go out in such a provocative way, indecent. Would not ever come into her mind. And also this aggressiveness in modern dressing, like with piercings, with tattoos, with changing the color of your hair, like in red or blue or whatever. It's all aggressiveness. That's also not how your grandmother dressed. She would dress in a calming manner, dressing decently. Colors that will not provocate anybody. Dressing provocatively is something that started in the 60s as a way of rebellion, to show that, look, we are not anymore part of a family, we are individuals. And what happened in the same time? Families became smaller, the divorce rates went up, cheating went up, and overall unhappiness and depression And you might think like, oh, that's strange that it's, how has it to do with clothing? Well, like I say, clothing has to do with your role and your place as a natural human being. And this can be, like I say, you show that you're a housewife, you wear easy fitting clothing, a dress that's, or a skirt that is easy fitting because you have to do your chores at home, your tasks, your home tasks, or otherwise to show that you are married, that you are a married woman, that you are not looking for another man, and also not dressing provocatively so that you will not get unwanted attention from men, and that is endangering, of course, your marriage. Because if you will dress provocatively, then of course there's a chance that somebody will show attention, and that will maybe lead to cheating and a broken home. And that's not what you want. You want to focus your first, the most important is your family. And that's why your grandmother dressed totally different than that most women do nowadays. And it's just a choice. You choose to dress provocatively. You might not understand the implications of dressing like that, the modern dress, but now you can see that there was thinking about it. It was not just oppression or suppression or whatever. It was a functional thing. It was very functional. One more time. They wore like that because they were housewives and they needed a skirt because it's much easier to clean with a skirt. And of course, when they went on the streets, it was the norm that you would dress decently and not provoke anybody with your clothing. That was something to be seen as, you know, the women of the red light. So that is why, if you would investigate in your family history, you will see this whole different persona than what you are nowadays. And I explained you why this was happening. So that was for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.